Hi everyone, I'm Ashish Rana and welcome to my channel Fundamentals Byte. On this channel, I will be sharing practical tutorials and insights of various technical topics. I will be talk about learning fundamentals, career path, technical blocks. I am passionate about simplifying technical concepts and so please subscribe and join me on this learning journey. So today's session I'm just going to start with the Git. So let's master Git together and level up our development skills. So this paper is designed for Git fundamentals, and here we will cover a quick introduction to version control with Git and GitHub. So in the end of this session, or you can find this paper in my YouTube uh, information sections, and you can download or simply you can go ahead and check this paper. So in this session, we are going to cover what is the VCS, what is the Git, what is the different platform like GitHub, Bitbucket. So let's start it, and this paper actually provides a practical introductions Git and GitHub, demonstrating essentials, commands, workflows, and best practices for version control. So this paper actually specifically will cover like how Git actually internally works. So our main focus to understand the concepts, how commands actually works internally, and so that we can understand the end-to-end workflow for Git. So in IT industry, like we have multiple platforms. Uh, so in IT industry, we have multiple platform which we are using for collaborations like GitHub, managing code repositories, and like we have similar Bitbucket or any other platform which we are using. So basically version control is a fundamental tool in modern software development, enabling collaborations, efficient tracking of changes, and reproducibility. So Git, actually a distributed version control system, has become the standard for managing source code. So actually, the basic difference in between the Git and GitHub is GitHub is a platform and Git is a tool which is helpful for version control system locally. Like it is installed in your local systems, and GitHub is the web based hosted tool which is manage the code repository uh, global. So remotely, so it manages the code repository remotely, so we can collaborate, and we can track the changes, we can review the code. So it is a complete tool, UI based tools, where we can do which provides the multiple features. And so Git is a limited distributed version control system, so which provides the features like we can track the changes of our files. If we have done any things locally, any change we can track. So and if you want to push our code changes to the remote repository, that we can do with the Gits. So all those things we can do with the Git. And so let's start it. So in the first section of the introductions, we can understand first like why means in software developments like require systematic tracking of code changes. So suppose like in a team of 5 people are working, and uh, we have one main code repositories is hosted on remote platform, which is like suppose my main repository code is in on GitHub. So and suppose this is a main branch, and that like suppose now 5 people are working, and suppose one people is for QA specific, one people is for DevOps specific, one people is for development specific, and one people is working for database specific, and one people like working for supports purpose. So suppose all 5 people need these code repositories for different purpose, and everyone wants to uh, means keep changing in that remote repositories, so that means all people can work in a way collaborations way. So everyone like can take a different branch from the main branch, and then once they have done their changes, then they can merge into the one main branch, or we can say we can either merge the changes in one uh, development branch, which we will going to which we can deploy and test further. But going to forward for those things, so let's start with the like software. In a software development requires systematic tracking of code changes. Then this is a traditional method such as of copying files. Like in a traditional system you can understand like copying file from one folder to another folder, so it is a difficult task, right? So it's a with the Git it is a very provides a very structures and many changes, preventing data loss and enabling collaborations. So suppose even in like suppose we have two files, one is script underscore v1 dot py, second is script underscore v2 dot py. So if any changes is done in script v1 dot py, so with this and we have added to the Git, so these changes we can in a very structured way with we have a hasky id, we can track those changes with the Git commands. So why use the Git? So Git allows users to create the snapshots of their work, so store them in a structured manner and revert changes when necessary. Unlike centralized version control system, SVN, Git provides flexibility by enabling local repository that sync with remote repositories. So this is like the introductions and why we should have to use the Git. So now the next section is the setting up the Gits in our systems. Then it is basics of how we can install the Git. So to start the using the Gits, we have to go to this URL and we can simply download Git. If it is not downloaded into our machines, we can follow this URL https://git-scm.com/downloads. So we can go to this URL, we can check whether we have a window or Mac based system, then accordingly we should have to download the file and then we can install Git. After installing the Git, so after installing the Git, this is the basically we can use these two commands just to configure uh, the at our username and the email, so that whenever you use the any command like git pull, git push, or any commands you will use, so you can then no need to be provide the every time authentication. So this is the these two commands is very helpful to configure at the global username and global user email. So once it is installed, after installing, you mean simply we have to open like, first step is open cmd then we have to type git to check like git is installed or not. If it is installed, then simply we can run these two commands. Third section is just to verify the git installation, so simply we can type git hyphen version commands. Now the next section is very important, and it is about like how git actually works. So this is the next sections I'm just going to cover. So let's start it. So here in this diagram, as this picture is very like so in this picture, right, like we can see we have local working directory, we have staging area, we have local repository, we have the remote repository. So we will understand one by one. So let's understand, you have files. Even you have you want to start a project, you want then you want to now that projects you want to be keep it on you want to be uh, want to push the remote repository, and then you want to see that those you can track the changes of your uh, project so as well. So let's understand, you have the local working directory in your machine. Local working directory, that means it is a simply folder. Let's create means once you have done these task setting up your kit, then simply what you can do next, you can create one folder. Let's say suppose you have create one folder is project. Inside that means once this folder is created, then you have to go to this folder, then you have to take this path. Like suppose this folder is the path of this project folder, right? So you have to go to git window, cmd window, and give the path of the project. You have to move with the like cd and the project path. So once we will be in this project directory in the git cmd, then this is the, we can say this is the local working directory, means this is the folder which is called local working directory for your git. So we can simply, if we want to start the project from the local itself, we can keep it our file on this project folder, and simply we can type the command git in it. Then it will create the structure of the git local repository. So once it is done, then once we'll want to add like suppose now we want to, our changes is done, and now we want to be move these changes to the uh, remote repository. So git actually follows internally like step one is just staging area, second is local repository, and third is remote repositories. So what happened, like suppose once your changes is done, then we simply type the command git add, or we can see that changes also. First we can check, okay, what is the status of my projects folder. We can simply go to git cmd and type here in this window we can type the command git status, then it will show the file changes, either it's tracked or untracked. If it is untracked, then we have to add, right? So using the git, next is git add. So using the git add command, uh, we can keep means track all the changes, and all changes will move to the staging area. So this is how git add actually works internally. Next is, once all changes has been committed and added to the staging area, now the next command, once I will use the git commit, I can give some message ID here, like project changes. I want to be project changes. So this is my command, git commit -m, and then the message name, what the message I want to be give for changes. So once I will give this command git commit -m, so this what it will do actually internally. So those changes from staging area will move to the local repositories, and it will create the snapshots of your changes, and your commit id will be created. Next command is just to move your changes from now local repository to remote repository. So just to move these changes from now local repositories to remote repositories, so next command is we have to use simply git push. So git push is the command like which is very helpful, and which is uh, track all your committed changes which is in now in your local repository, will directly move to the remote repositories. So once it will move to the remote repository, then you can verify all your changes either moved or not. Then now you can go to GitHub, and if you are using GitHub or Bitbucket, whatever the tools you are using for remote repositories, you simply can go to and log in and can check whether with the latest commit id or what the changes this project folder or this project folder repository move to the remote repository or not. So with GitHub we can simply check all these things. Now next thing is, once the changes is moved to the remote repository, and now we want to suppose someone also some like team is working on this, want to work on this project in on this project on the same projects, so they can create either a different branch, or now that the concept will come branching strategies, then we can create branches, and everyone can work accordingly, and then after that we can merge in a one branch, and which is will be the main branch to which we'll use for deploy or either test, or we can do. So now if suppose want to be again, I was just want to be work parallelly with this more changes I have to do, then I can simply next command I can use the git pull. Git pull is very helpful to just to sync my code repository changes to whatever like other people has done in the same branch or in the same code repository. Someone has done the changes, so those changes will be merged into the my local system, so that the code will be synced, so there will be no conflict, and I means This is a very helpful command. So this is the good practice also. Just before going to push, we should have to do git pull. So I hope you understood this with the clear pictures of how git actually internally works. Next is tracking changes with git. So as I have already discussed how we can track the changes, we have the commit id, right? So once that changes is moved to the remote repositories, now we have the track record on remote, and in our local system, local repository as well, we have this snapshot created, that commit id is created. We can track changes end to end, what happened to that file, what is the history of that changes. We can check the history of that file, like when I change anything related to that particular projects or the file. So basically tracking changes with the git operates through three main areas. I has already discussed, like working one is called working directory, second is staging area, third is remote repository. So basically working directory is like modified but untracked file. A staging area keeps the file added for the next commit using git add. A repository commit is stored permanently. So basically these are the only three things. One is staging area, second is like this is first thing our working directory, then staging area, then like, local repository, then we have remote repositories. So these are this is these sections like I already covered in this, like how Git actually works, like tracking changes with the Git. So next is GitHub and remote repository. So we'll talk about the now GitHub. So GitHub extends Git's capabilities by hosting repositories online, enabling collaborations through pull requests and issue trackings. So these are the steps to use GitHub. First, we can create a repository on GitHub. We can directly also using the with the help of UI, right? On GitHub, we can directly create the repositories and we can git clone in our local system. Then we can directly clone into our local system, and then we can use that repository. Second is link local repository using git remote add origin. Then we should have a repository URL. So this is the second step. Then third step is like if you want to the push the changes using git push origin main. This is the actually branch name. This is how it is. So basically like what we can follow, like simply we can log into GitHub. If you do not have any account to the GitHub, then first the first step will be sign up. So we should have sign up with GitHub. So using your Gmail or email ID, you can simply sign up. Next is git pull. It is like retrieve updates from remote repositories. So this is the next table. This is about like comparison of version control systems. We have different VCS tools like Git, SVN, Mercurial. So this is like features. In a features we can see first is type. So Git is like distributed, SVN is centralized, Mercurial is distributed. Branching is first is lightweight and fast, as we can see. Second, SVN is heavy and expensive. Mercurial is efficient. Speed is high, moderate, high. Offline work like Git is yes, SVN is no, Mercurial is yes. Merge handling in Git is advanced, SVN is basic, and Mercurial is good. learning curve is moderate, easy, moderate. So in industry, we mostly and properly widely use only Git. So I hope you understood. So this is the final conclusion of this paper. Like Git has revolutionized the way developers manage code by implementing Git and GitHub best practices. Teams can streamline collaborations, maintain code integrity, and improve efficiency. Now I have give the links of references. If you want to learn and if you want to be just want to see that best practices tutorials, or so these are the some resources I have figured it out, and you can go through each one of them. Like Git is also provides the tutorials you can learn from the uh, source. So these are the references for like Git. We have GitHub, ProGit, and Atlassian Git best practice. So we can follow these reference for your learning. Thank you so much. I hope you understood the this means concept of Git and GitHub and version control system what we have discussed so far. So keep learning and see you soon. Stay tuned. Uh, we'll, uh, we'll continue in next section. Thank you so much.